The gang
Okay, gotcha.
on TV. These guys need to stop dinging me. I can't stand this shit.
Turn your ringer off.
Coffee.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, because you wanted out there. My boy feel. All right. So who's the audio visual guy? Drew, that you?
Unfortunately, yes.
I hate that stuff.
It's also unfortunate. Yes.
Makes us pick over that off. So he's the man. He is the man.
He's my brother.
There we go.
That guy, run guy.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
I'll go to the information.
Hey, Daniel Radcliffe.
It's good morning. Looking good. My field closed. There you go. Good. So we got some people actually going out to the house. Or I go out to you go out to the house. Yeah. In the office. Oh, in the office field. Let's get feel in the office. Where's that? Like, what's he talking about? The new persistent. This is great.
Yes, sir.
I need to get Tommy to give me an agency shirt. Yeah. I got a nice Marines t-shirt.
Yeah, but that's one of those language. They got it all.
Nick, what up?
Guys,
We got it.
not really awesome.
Oh, shoot me, praise that.
I think you're always worried to tell me the same thing. I just sit here.
My agency's on fire, they probably gone.
All right. Do we have everybody?
Good for this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
That's another one that states.
I suppose.
Smile. This is the first time I heard.
See what I figured it out, I got it. So onto the list of this stuff, but.
Green, see, we got maybe
That's another leadership.
bits of our team.
Yep, I agree.
Chris.
No, so the way like agents call review measures, like when I come out of the steps, I got, oh my god, what do I do? That SGA's call you, they're like, oh my god, what do I do?
Sometimes, I mean, it's just on a different level, the same type of thing, but on a different level.
So honestly.
Yeah, we're both
I
starting.
mean, they don't call me and say,
Yeah, obviously, yeah, I'd be very surprised, yeah, but at the same time, right, you gotta close the water. If all the SGA's just calling.
No,
Exciting, ready conversation, mom.
you let me know.
Let's go, sure.
Yeah, there's minutes of training. In the middle of a training. I'll go review this later with you.
Some of the talk to us is like, it's not this meeting. Like pumps.
All right. Here we go.
Should we see you right there?
Yeah, cool. All right. If we're all present and accounted for, you let me know and I'll start whipping into it. So I know Tommy ain't gonna be here.
Yeah, he'll be here shortly, actually.
Okay.
How's it going?
Okay, where you going?
I'll be right
I'll wait for you.
back.
Nice guy.
Late for my meeting. Mason a little flat too, since he ran for coffee.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna make everybody wait. So, did you guys have a decent night last night?
Yes,
Tell me
sir.
about what you guys do?
So we had a brand new trainee,
Okay.
pop a 2,000 part of those trial, 1,000 standard, but they were done at like 2 a.m. And he was still on the call this morning.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. they got shot. Woo. Yeah, it was like a 9:35 sit. And $5. It was nice.
Wear them out.
He quit. I'm still.
My goodness. Well, I mean, I appreciate the dedication, but man, talk about your marathon presentation.
Yeah, I think they were just done for the day too, but the
Line to
set
set.
was posted at, I think 1 a.m. Something like that.
That's right.
Was they right?
It was, there we go, there's Melissa.
Hey,
She was the one.
okay, all right. Well. Let's get into it a little bit. So, all right, this morning.
Talk about it, I got you, man. You have.
Copies to close.
All right, now we can, I was trying to kill time, so. Perfect. All right.
Go, we got plenty in the road.
So let's go. So all leaders on this call, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here's the deal. I want to talk about agency building. Okay? This is something that should be like super important to you. Because if you've made the decision to get into leadership, okay, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. You have to look back behind you at some point in time, and you have to realize or take a look and see, are you leading people or are you just going for a walk? You know what I mean? If there's nobody following you, you're just going for a walk, man. Okay, I don't want leaders that have leadership contracts. There's a couple of things that really piss me off, okay? First of all, broke MGAs. Like, you don't want to be a broke MGA. You certainly don't want me to hear about it. Okay, because I have the cure. Fix it right away. Okay, the other thing that kind of pisses me off really is people that are in leadership, have leadership contracts that don't have people working for them or with them. If you want to be a personal producer, we'll give you a personal production contract. It's not a problem. Nothing wrong with being a personal producer. But if you're going to be carrying a leadership contract, then the expectation is that you're going to be building a team. So we're going to talk about agency building today. And for this to happen, the first thing that we need to do is we need to get our heads right about what we're doing. Okay? So everything you've done up to this point in time, as far as I'm concerned, has been practice. Okay? It's gotten you to where you are. What you need to understand is to get from where you are to where you want to be, you're going to have to do something other than what you're presently doing, because what got you here is going to imprison you here. You with me?
Yes, sir.
So you're going to need to decide how bad you really want what you think you want, because you can't get it doing what you're presently doing. It's not the people, it's not the agents, it's you. Pure and simple. You're what's holding you back. Okay? So if you're comfortable, this might not be a good size for you to be in right now. Okay? My job is to make you uncomfortable. You know how a pearl gets made? Anybody know? A pearl starts out as a tiny little grain of sand that gets into the oyster, and it creates irritation. That irritation causes the oyster to secrete the pearl thing, okay? And it hardens up and it grows into a pearl. They keep layering it so that the sand, the little piece of sand, doesn't irritate the oyster. I'm gonna irritate the shit out of you. Okay? You're my oyster. I'm gonna be your pearl. Okay? If you're serious, I'm gonna irritate you to the point where here's what's gonna happen. Okay? I tell people this all the time. This is the best six-figure job you'll ever have. But it's the worst $30,000 a year job you've ever had. I'm going to make you uncomfortable. We clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's the deal. All right. You guys, your biggest challenge is accountability. It's about managing the space between your own ears. You can't wait for Tommy to hold you accountable. You can't wait for your MGA, if you're an SA or a GA, to hold you accountable. You have to hold you accountable. And here's the problem. We're self-employed. So understand, self-employed, first and foremost, doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want. That's what unemployed people get to do. They get to do whatever they want. Self-employed people, in order to be a successful self-employed person, have to hold themselves to a much higher standard from an accountability standpoint in order to be successful. Because if they don't, that lack of discipline will prevent them from ever being more than good. And being self-employed, good is not a good thing. Good is just like over broke. Okay? How many of us are just over broke, really? Good is not going to be good if you're self-employed. Good is good if you're an employee. You don't get fired. But doing just enough to not get fired as a self-employed person is the kiss of death. So you've got to be able to hold yourself to a much, much higher level. Look, here's the deal. I've had your job. Okay, I know what you're going through. I totally get this. And I'm going to tell you flat out that even though I'm talking to you about being disciplined, I fall into the exact same category. Like, I worked much, much harder for Duran Oldham, my SGA, than I ever worked for myself, for two reasons. First of all, I didn't want to let him down. He put me in a position of authority and placed confidence in me. Okay, and I was proud to be representing his agency. And I wasn't going to fail. Second reason, he held me accountable in a way that I will not hold myself accountable as the boss and owner operator of my business. Y'all hearing me?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I knew he was looking over my shoulder and holding me accountable. I had to perform at a higher level where if I wasn't being held accountable that way, I would simply say, oh, screw it, I'll get to it tomorrow, man. No big deal. Like my sales force is gone, it's 1 o'clock, I'm going home. They'll figure it out. So here's my question. Who's holding you accountable? If you don't do it for yourself, if you don't do it for yourself, it's just not going to get done. As an SGA, I had so many times interviewed failed SGAs that would come to my office and they'd want to know, what can you do for me? I've been an SGA, I've been a successful MGA. What can you, start me off with, like an RGA contract over, whatever. And my first question is, what are you going to do for me that you wouldn't do for yourself? Why would I even consider bringing you in and having you destabilize my leadership team? Well, you wouldn't do it for yourself. So here's the first thing you've got to get your head around, guys. You have to take ultimate control of you first. Nobody's watching. If you defer this to somebody other than yourself, you will fail. Can't ask Tommy to do it. Can't ask your MGA to do it. Can't ask your RGA to do it. Okay. Got to come from you first and foremost. Y'all with me?
Yep.
All right. So let's assume we got this. All right. The 3 pillars of agency building: recruiting, training, and leadership development. You cannot dodge these. The first contract that everybody signs in American Income, first sentence in every single contract, whether it's an SAGA, RGA, or MGA, RGA, SGA, to recruit, obtain, train salespeople. Stop trying to dodge this. You cannot be in leadership if you don't recruit. It's never going away. Okay, like, I'll tell you what, man, I'm so sick of hearing about recruiting. I got so sick and tired of it that I decided to finally effing do it. Okay, do it. Get these people off of me. Okay, I had a code commitment of 27 in 2011 in Philadelphia. I don't think I missed my code commitment 3 times in my entire career as an SGA. It was serious business. Okay, if you're really serious about agency building, you've got to understand that without recruiting, you have absolutely no control over anything. And our business is about being in control. You can wait for somebody to hand you a code, or you can go about the business of building your MGA deal today. I don't care what level you're at. You're an SA, you can start building. Hey, man. Start.
Morning. That smells like coffee in
Oh,
here.
yeah, baby. You can start building your SGA deal today, or excuse me, your MGA deal today. Because in almost every agency throughout the company, your personals go with you. They go with you. So when would you like to start building your MGA deal? Right now. Like, if you're not thinking that, they're testing. Yeah, it's,
You're on fire, man.
Wow, you guys are on. Look, check this out. Yep, look. Freddie is setting the fire alarm off in the building right now. That when stuff like that happens, that means whatever he just said is fire. Hopefully that again was
I burned the building down. Oh, shit. But guys, they follow you. So if you have the opportunity to start building your MGA deal today, why wouldn't you take it? Okay. Remember the first sentence in every single contract. If it's that important to American income, don't you think it ought to be important to you? Stop waiting for somebody to build you something. Stop waiting for somebody to give you a code and go pick out your next SA. Because we don't talk to schmucks, okay? I play studs and duds when I go out. Okay, literally, and I'm sizing people up. I said this to a couple of people yesterday, but let me share it with the rest of the team. You know, you're a talent scout. I'm a talent scout. This is such a huge part of your business. You just have to always be on. Years ago, when the convenience stores first started becoming popular in Massachusetts, we had this store called Store 24. They were always open. That was their slogan. That's me. I'm Store 24. I'm always open. I'm a talent scout. I'm looking for two things. When I look at you, I see one of two things. You're either a candidate for my business opportunity, you know, if you're young and sharp like the people on this call, or you're a candidate for my product and service. In other words, you're a potential client. That's it. That's what I see. What do you see? Are you in business for you right now? Are you on? You know what I mean? Is your store open? Recruiting isn't something we do from 8 in the morning until 10 in the morning, 3 days a week. If that's how you think you're going to build your agency, you're wasting your time here. I became an MGA in 8 months because I was solely focused on recruiting. That's how you build stuff. If you're an SA, all right, here's the other thing you need to understand. So the higher you climb into leadership, the more responsibility you're going to take on. As most of that responsibility is going to tilt heavily towards recruiting, and you're going to end up making a financial commitment to recruiting. It's an investment in your business, okay? And you need it because it's not uncommon for the MGAs and RGAs to pay more in taxes than the SGA does. The SGA has legitimate write-offs. I had $50,000 a month in fixed monthly expenses before I woke up. So I'm writing the first 600 grand of income off. It evaporates. Okay. You don't have that. My MGAs make real money. Okay. They were paying taxes on $500,000 a year, $750,000 a year with no write-offs. So that investment in recruiting is a good thing. You invest in your business, you get a return on investment, right? I'm going to talk to you like business owners. ROI is a very important thing. My 3 favorite initials in the alphabet, as opposed to IRS, the 3 I like the least. All right. So return on investment is important to you. When you, instead of writing a check to Uncle Sam to pay taxes, write that same check and invest it in your business, you're going to blow your business up. It's going to grow exponentially. Okay. But here's the deal. As a business owner, you're an idiot if you have a rotation. This is business. I'm a for-profit business. So are you. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm investing in recruiting. I'm spending $500, $1,000 a week, $6,000 a month, whatever it is, as an MGA, RGA, and I'm paying for recruiters and so forth. And I have SAs and GAs, and because I'm way above the point in my life where I'm going to field train anybody, even though I'm the best field trainer in my agency. Sound familiar to anybody? But I'm certainly not going to do that. I'm going to give my most important asset to somebody that's less qualified than me, and I'm going to let them train them for me. Now, you're the less qualified person. You're the SA or GA. You're doing the training, right? So you're waiting for your MGA or RGA to give you a code. He owns you. He owns you. It's like an agent that doesn't know how to get referrals. If you don't get referrals, you don't know how to get referrals. I own you. I'm the lead god. I give you leads, you eat. Well, as an agency owner, is that how you want to be in the deal? Somebody owns you. Here's the other thing I will tell you. I don't do a rotation. If I'm the guy spending the money and my most valuable asset is my brand new agent, and everybody I give to Natalie is gone in 60 days, and everybody I give to Mason is here 60, 90 days and going into leadership, who do you think I'm going to give my coach to? It ain't a rotation, baby. I love Natalie. She's awesome. I'll take her to lunch. But I can't give my most valuable asset to somebody that doesn't get me a return on my investment. So if you're in one of these deals where you're the guy spending the money and you think you have a rotation, first conversation I'm having with my SAs and GAs is, hey, guess what? Okay, you're gonna have to prove to me that you know how to field train in order for me to give you a code. Because today, I'm the best field trainer on my team. So I'm going to train them. And you guys are all virtual. Like I can train 5 people on one call. Excuse me. Okay, how difficult is this? It's not like back in the day when we had to put 3 people in a car and show up, look like we were going to break into the house. You know what I mean? And then we do an interrogation at the kitchen table. You know what I mean? It's hilarious, right? We don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so look, there's no one better than you. Let them know. I'm not. The other thing is if we're field training, okay, it's incumbent upon us to be able to write some business. Okay, like if you can't drop $2,000 in a week, you really shouldn't be field training anybody. That shouldn't be a problem for anybody, but there's so much to this. Like you got to do some planning. I want to focus on the recruiting part of this before I drift off. All right. The investment that you need to make as you grow with the company in terms of recruiting. You want to get a return on that investment. The other thing I want to tell you, as a leader within the agency, you've got to set the culture. Culture is set by field trainers. And if you're not getting PRs in every single presentation from every single person, you are doing this wrong. And you're not getting the support that you need from your team to grow your business. They have to participate in this. So the expectation that you want to set when you field train is that you show them how to get PRs in every single presentation, just the same way that you would teach them how to get referrals in every single presentation, just the same way when we field train physically, we would teach them to get door knocks in, you know, they would do door knocks every single day. Like if you don't teach these things, they won't do it. You can't wait until they're fully trained and then say, oh, by the way, I want you to get PRs in every presentation. Get 2. How do you think that's going to work out? So what it means is that us, the leaders, have to do something that we're not presently doing, because I know we're not doing this. Okay, but if you train on it, the new people only know what you're doing. I'll talk about how to convert the old people, but the new people only know what we show them. You know how back in the day, well, you remember, Tommy, we went from Bright Naps to doing EAP, and I know Natalie got this who remembers. So here's how I was the second agency to go to EAP training in the company. Here's how we transitioned everybody over. Everybody wanted to make the comparison between our power and the needs-based analysis. And the fact of the matter is our power is 10 times better. Okay, it still is. You guys don't know what it is because we don't do it anymore. But back when we're trying to transition, it was a dogfight. Everybody's fighting over it. Okay, so here's how I fixed it. Okay, the new people, they got trained on the new presentation. That's all they ever saw. They didn't know what our power was. After 90 days, the rest of the agency had burnt out and turned over like it always does. And all that was left were people that only knew what the laptop was. That's all they knew. So the first thing we do to change culture in the agency is to teach it correctly. That means you have to be on the script that they're on. That script has to include getting PRs. and you show them how to do it. The second thing that we do is we change the way that we check in our existing sales force. So here's what I mean by that. If you're not checking your team in on a nightly basis, you're just flat out doing this wrong. You need to talk to them. They need to talk to you. If they've written business, they need a minute to gloat, and you need to tell them how wonderful they are. Okay. If they didn't write, you need to be like, all the king's horses and all the king's men trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. You got to put their freaking heads back on. Okay. Tomorrow is going to be better. You're going to work with them. You're going to assist them. You're going to spend some time. You're going to do whatever it is that you got to do to get them off. Okay. But you got to make sure that they go to bed with their head in the right place so that they can get up tomorrow and do this. Part of this check-in process needs to be, how many appointments did you make? How many phone calls? How many appointments? How many presentations? How much ALP? How many referrals? And how many PRs did you get? So I got 8 appointments, 3 presentations, 2 sales, 1,500 of ALP, 7 referrals. How many PRs did you get, Fred? Oh, I didn't get any. All right, listen, man, I need you to work on that. Let me hear your PR pitch right now. Pitch me. What do you say? Okay, let's do it. Okay, you got it? Okay, tomorrow I need PR.
You guys hear that? You gotta call them out and hear it. Like,
Yeah,
like, you say, Dalton, did you collect referrals? We look, he says, a couple. You say, well, you collect 2. You say, right? You say, are you doing the referral pitch? Are you doing the script? And what's Dalton gonna say? He said, yes.
yeah, let's hear it.
And then you're gonna go like this. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. No, you have to say, all right, cool. Let me hear it then. Oh, you got it then? You're like, you got it? He's like, yeah, I got it. All right, well, let me hear it then. Like, we got to be calling him out a little bit more and inspect it. You see what you probably didn't even notice that's like what he does. He calls them out and wants to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Inspect what we expect.
Perfect, exactly. So you call them out on the PR thing, you make sure they can do it. Okay, tomorrow I'm counting on you. You know what I mean? No problem. Tomorrow comes. Okay, I had 9 appointments. I had 3 presentations. I had 1 sale. I had $1,000 of ALP. I had 10 referrals. Get any PRs? No, man, I didn't get any PRs. Hey, man, we talked about this yesterday. Okay, you told me you were going to get it. Do you have that pitch? Solid? Let me hear it again. Okay, tomorrow, no excuses. Okay, tomorrow comes. I had 7 appointments. I had 2 presentations. I had 1 sale. I had 5 referrals, and I got 3 PRs. I had 3 PRs. I got 3 PRs. Okay, now it's, oh, Fred, great job. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, way to go. I'm proud of you. Notice that I did not give him the love until he gave me my PRs. Like, that's good. Okay, yeah, good. Well, here's what I need you to do. It wasn't, oh, that's great. Nah, no love. I'm changing culture. We only praise the things that we want. We want to encourage the behavior that we're looking for. Until I get my PRs, they don't get the love or recognition for a job well done. They're going to want to please you. This is where accountability comes in. If you tell them to do it and you don't follow up and hold them accountable, they're just going to go in one ear and out the other. They're going to continue to do exactly what they've been doing. Exactly what they've been doing. Their lack of productivity is not their failure. It's ours for not holding them accountable to doing the things that we told them to do. Like, it wouldn't it be nice if we just told, hey, I told you to do that. You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you do it? It doesn't work that way. Okay, it's more like show and tell again, and show and tell again, because we're all kind of ADD. But that's why we make the big bucks. Okay, hold them accountable to what they said they would do. All right, so recruiting, how does this help you? Well, it helps everybody in the room. First of all, if we make 100 presentations as an agency for the week, we're going to pick up a couple hundred referral opportunities, PR opportunities that we otherwise would not have. We're also going to get some people paid a personal referral bonus that they otherwise would not get. But most importantly, if I'm an MGA or an RGA and I've got 20 people coded to me. I just picked up 20 free unpaid recruiters that are gonna help push me up the chain of command while I lift them and pull them up to my level, because subconsciously, if they're in leadership, what they're saying is someday I want to be like you. Give them something to chase, create an image. All right, whether you like it or not, you're on stage anyway, guys. Know that. Okay, you don't get time off. You don't get to, like, take a breath. They're watching you. Okay. Use it to your advantage. So hold them accountable when you check them in. The other part of this is the leadership development side. Guys, you have to take responsibility for growing your team. I could ask every MGA in the company today one simple question. I already know what the answer is before I ask it. You know what it is?
Personal recruiting.
No, we're gonna get off personal recruiting for 1 minute. But here's the question. Is your GA ready to be promoted? Oh, no, man, he ain't ready. He ain't ready yet. No, he's close, but he ain't ready yet. Who's your next MGA? Not ready yet, man. They're never ready. They're never ready. Okay, you ask the GA if he's got an essay that's ready to be promoted to the GA. Oh, hell no. No, they ain't ready. They ain't ready. Here's what we know. When we promote people from agent to essay, the retention of that agent goes up by like 300%. It's ridiculous. So when we promote people, we're also kind of ensuring that we're going to keep them. And when we promote people, you have another cylinder helping you to build your dream. So it's critical. It's just critical that you open up that opportunity. Now, I'm not saying promote people for the sake of promoting them. Okay, because here's my criteria, especially at the essay level. Got to be able to go out and drop a couple grand a week, period. No excuses. If we tell them in the overview, they're going to get 10 presentations a week and make 3 sales, and then we field train them and we only got 4 presentations for the week, how exactly do you think that goes down? We're already lying to them. My boss can't get 10 presentations. How am I supposed to do it? Right? So what are we saying? What are we doing? Okay. Understand, everything that we say and do is being evaluated by them through a lens to determine whether or not we're being honest with them. How do you think they're going to react to us? How confident do you think they're going to be in our leadership if they determine early on that we're not telling the truth? We can't deliver on the promises. Right? They're 1 foot halfway out the door before they finish training. So it's incumbent upon us to be prepared to field train. I always credit my success in this business with the fact that I was blessed to be field trained by Steve Greer. We went out and wrote business. I didn't know how to fail. I mean, I literally did not know how to fail. Not that we wrote big amount of business by today's standards, not much at all, 3 grand a week. But I don't think I saw him not sell. Like every single person bought. We must have had 10 presentations each week. We couldn't get from one appointment to the next appointment fast enough. It's like I literally did not know how to fail. Anybody saying that about the way you trained them? Anybody saying after Josh got through training me, I didn't know how to fail? Don't make me pick on you, man. Like, think about that. What are we showing them? Okay, what are they seeing? Can we back up play? Okay, if you got somebody that can do that, they demonstrate that they can consistently write 2,000 or better over a 30, 60-day period of time. I don't care if they get promoted. But if I promote you and you can't write at least 2 grand in your field training, we're going to have a problem. I want you guys to think about this. These contracts are not lifetime Supreme Court appointments. Okay, just because you qualify to be an SA, a GA, or an MGA doesn't mean that you get it for life. Okay, I mean, I'm just being clear. I want to be clear. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean. Okay, it's not personal. God bless you. Thank you. All right, we're running a business here. Okay, if you can't do it or don't want to do it, it's okay. You can be a personal producer. But what kind of an example are you setting? You know what I mean? If you want people to follow your lead and you're trying to inspire them to do the right thing, and you're writing 1,300 a week on 5 presentations, like, who cares what you got to say? Well, what happens to somebody that sucks? Right? I mean, I cannot do it without listening to you. Just saying. I mean, that's where the rubber meets the road. At some point, you're going to lose your influence. Your title alone will not influence them to do what needs to be done. Your example will. Your example will. Okay. We like to read in here. Yeah. If you haven't read The 5 Levels of Leadership by Maxwell, and even if you have, read it again. Okay, positional leadership is a joke. It's the lowest level of leadership. Okay, no one's going to be inspired to follow you. But when you set the example, like, look, I followed Greer because I was confident that he could take me to a place I hadn't been to before or could not get to on my own. Okay, that's why we follow somebody. That's why we follow somebody. Because they demonstrate to you that they can help you get to a place that you want to be at, that you can't get to without their help. And the last part of this that I want to talk about, the leadership development thing, I kind of jumped around. I want to talk about training. Because this is really critical, guys. The 3 components work, but they work in conjunction with one another. If you don't recruit, you don't get to do training and leadership development. If you recruit and you train well, okay, then you're going to get to the second level. You've got people working with you, okay? But people are going to burn off. Let's face it, staring at a computer terminal 8 hours a day, doing presentations from your bedroom or something with no camaraderie and no interaction with human beings is not going to, leads to depression, man. You know what I mean? I mean, let's be honest about it. We are creatures that need to interact with other creatures, okay? So that's going to get old if there's no vision. The vision is the leadership part of it. So you've got to do all 3 of those things correctly in order to keep people engaged in the process and working through it. But if we do the recruiting right, the training part of it, I want to spend a little time on. We talked a little bit about field training properly, being able to demonstrate that we can drop a couple of grand consistently. Okay, we hold people accountable to the things that we said that we're going to do. We're on their presentation, all that kind of stuff. The last part of it is the maintenance training part of it. Okay, and this is so critical. This is where I think we have a huge opportunity to grow our agencies because we're getting our codes. Okay, and maybe Natalie or Tommy know the answer to this. Do you know how many codes you've had year to date?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, it would be on your planning results, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to say you've probably hired somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 people year to date.
Coded.
Coded.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like 9.
Okay. I like your number better, 90. All right. So where are they? We don't have a recruiting problem. What we have is a retention of agent problem. And you know what all those people have in common? Us, our poor training, our lack of accountability, our weak leadership. Okay, it's not pretty. I can live with people leaving me. I cannot live with people leaving me because of me. If I'm the problem, okay, I can't build anything. I've got to be the solution. You've got to be the solution. It can't be your weak leadership, poor training, lack of motivation, attention to detail, and so forth that is the reason that people are leaving our organization. They cannot like what we do, but it can't be because of us. You got me? And that's right now, the only thing they have in common is us. They can't all suck. They came here with a vision. They bought into this. They paid money to work here, to get their licenses, to be a part of this. They were inspired by something that they saw until they lost their vision because we didn't deliver on our promises. That's personal. We have a 2-day ride rule. You ever hear of it? So here's the thing. You're here today because somebody gave a shit about you. There's another way I'd like to say this, but I won't. Okay, somebody cared enough about you when you struggled that they reached out and threw your life raft. They put their arms out there and they said, hey man, don't worry, I got you. You come in tomorrow, we'll work together. I'll help you. I'll listen to your presentation. I'll help you close. I'll ride with you. I'll sit in on a Zoom call with you, whatever it is. But nobody gets into our deal and goes straight up to the top and, you know, becomes hugely successful and lives happily ever after. We all struggle at some point. Somebody was there for you to help you through the rough spots. Are you paying it forward? Or do they just all suck? Think about it. We can't control the people that we recruit, we attract to the opportunity. We can try, you know, by personal recruiting. They got to pass the eyeball test. They got to pass the speech thing. They got to be able to speak well. They got to look sharp. We don't want to talk to them to begin with, but we can't control what they have in here. And you got to have some heart in order to be successful here. What we do have control over, however, is us. If I give somebody the best 2 weeks of training that I know how to give, and I set them up for success, and I do the things that I said I was going to do, and I follow up, okay, like the 2-day ride rule is so flippin' important, guys. The guy that's coming into training next week, he ain't going to be any better or worse than the guy that started out the business that started with you 30 days ago. What are we doing to fix him? Why isn't the 2-day ride rule being implemented? Why are you waiting for somebody to tell you what to do? You know what to do. This is the best trained, poorest performing group I've worked with in a very long time. You know what to do. You've heard of the 2-day ride rule. Why are you waiting for somebody to tell you? Do it. Do it. I don't have any magic sauce. You know what I mean? It's all stuff you've heard before. Do it. Don't wait for somebody to tell you the guy's struggling. Don't wait for him to starve out of the business. Find out what they're saying. That's where it all starts, right? Because you've done this long enough to know, like, this guy's not going to make it. And the guy coming in behind him, don't you get tired of that? Like, don't you wake up one day and start feeling like, why am I in leadership? I know I did. How many times have we started as SAs and we're 90 days into it, 120 days into it, and we realize I don't have anybody working for me and I'm like giving away all my money, right? It's not a good culture. And it doesn't have to be that way. But you do have to have the discipline and the desire to do the things that we're talking about doing here. Don't wait for somebody to tell you what to do. The only way that this next group of trainees comes out better than the last group of trainees is for you to do something with this group that you didn't do with the last group. That's it. Simple, right? Not necessarily easy, but this is a simple job. Here's the problem. We as human beings are very complicated creatures, and it's like wired into our DNA to take this simple concept and make it really, really complicated, right? You know, so that it's difficult. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's simple. Keep it simple. Okay. If this was difficult, I couldn't have done it, guys. I'll be brutally honest with you. Okay. It's simple, but you got to keep it simple so that they can digest it and get it. Okay. And then plan your work and work your plan. Sounds easy. It is, but it's critical. If I'm field training on Monday, I'm prepared on Sunday. The last thing in the world I'm going to do is let somebody see me struggle on the phones. So I'm going to make sure that I've got some stuff set up in advance. Okay, make sure that I'm going to be able to put on a clinic. If I told them I'm going to get 10 presentations in, I'm going to find a way to get 10. If that's what we're presenting, that's what we've got to do. I'm going to be on the script that they were trained on. Okay, I know you all got that magic script that you use that only you can do. You know, the one that you use when there's nobody around. Don't use that when you're with a trainee. Okay, I mean, think about it. You know, how long you been with us? Your presentation today isn't the same as it was when you came out of training. I've been in the business, in home sales business, close to 50 years. Okay, so like, even though I haven't done this in a while, I could sit down with somebody today and they would pay me. Okay, and if I had a trainee with me, it would be the end, it would be the kiss of death for that trainee, because the trainee is going to walk out and go, oh, wow, my manager's awesome. And then he's going to go, oh, shit, like, I can't do what he just did. And you're going to end up terrifying them instead of inspiring confidence in them. They need to hear you say the words that they were trained to say, so they know why they learned it, and you make it live. You give it power. You give it credibility, and they can follow along with what you're saying because they've been trained on it. And what you're going to do is inspire them. They're going to have super confidence that they can do what you just did. Okay. And I know you're not on the script. And I'm not saying this to you because I'm the script police. I could care less what you say, as long as it's legal and Tommy's okay with it. All right. It's not why I'm here. I don't care about what you're saying. I want you to say what your trainees are saying. Or teach them to say what you're saying. Either way, I don't really care. But you got to be on the same script when we field train. Make sense? Okay, that's pretty much like the Reader's Digest version. I could talk for another hour. How much time did I leave you?
You're fine.
47.
Okay, perfect. All right. Talk about questions or challenges that you're having in your particular deal that you want to talk about.
Myself. And this is my essay right here. We're having an issue developing a Spanish division. We feel like, and I was talking to the director, that new lady who's the director of quality down in Texas about it, because she's lingual. But we're having an issue where we bring in Hispanic recruits and then 90% of them go.
Okay.
So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like us with our training and how we present our culture, or is it like something else? Is there something you can recommend that you maybe have seen in different agencies that where they get a lot of Hispanic recruits?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. We have a Spanish division.
Right.
Okay, and they're doing very, very well. There's a lot of excitement in the Spanish division, and we've translated everything over to Spanish so that it's available. I am not bilingual.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing in the world I would have any interest in personally is putting together a bilingual agency.
Oh,
To
yeah.
be perfectly honest with you, there's enough English-speaking people in the community. Like I lived in, my deal was Philadelphia. We had every ethnic background on the planet there.
Right.
Okay, and we had a huge Spanish-speaking community, and I had some guys that spoke Spanish. Alberto from Ryan's agency was in my division. Okay, he's Dominican kid. Shop his attack. Okay, I didn't build the Spanish division. I built this English speaking division that had some Spanish speaking people in it.
Okay.
I wasn't really overly concerned about it.
Okay.
I would recommend, unless you speak the language,
No, no.
I would focus on the English speaking people here. Because there's a lot of them,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
That's fine.
And if you get somebody that speaks Spanish, we have the ability, we have everything translated. You know what I mean? We can give them tools and resource them if they want to work that community, but I wouldn't be looking, it's like going overseas with this. It's like taking American Income to Ireland. Why? We have lots of freaking union guys right here
Yeah.
that we haven't protected yet. It was like the dumbest thing we ever did.
You did that?
Yeah, we did. It was an epic fail. So that's my 2 cents, Rick. Okay, I would focus on guys that speak in. Anything else?
Yeah, I think what we spoke about yesterday, share a little bit of that, just holding people accountable to what, they should be doing, whether it's the essay position or the agent position, just that whole accountability you went over with me yesterday is fire.
Yeah. So I wish I remembered everything I said to you yesterday, because obviously I was good. Having said that, the accountability part of this, guys, is really the difference maker. Okay, it's the difference between success and failure. And if you think about it, discipline and accountability is the difference maker in everything in life. Talent will take you a long way, but the world is filled with talented derelicts. Okay, it just is, man. It's all kinds of talented people out there that can't rub 2 nickels together. How many times in sports, for example, you have a number 1 draft pick for some NFL team, typically a quarterback. Typically they go to the Browns, but that's another story. Okay, and they're going to set the world on fire. And they sign a huge rookie contract and they never make the cut. And you got your Ryan Leafs and you got your Johnny Manziels and you got on and on the list goes. Okay, there you go. Okay, another one. Okay. Why? They had the physical attributes. They didn't suddenly not know how to be a quarterback, right? They lacked the discipline. They lacked the accountability. They weren't willing to do what was necessary to be successful, in spite of the fact that they had the natural gifts. This is our Super Bowl, guys. I've never been an athlete, but I've got a ring. I'm a 5-time council member, and I swear to God, when I wear the ring, inevitably, people will ask me, what championship team did you play for? It's the funniest thing. I got around to telling people that I was the strength and conditioning coach of the New England Patriots, 1985. They go, really? I'm going, no. But I love telling that. So it's a big old obnoxious ring. All right. So, for us, this is our Super Bowl, guys. I can't compete physically with those guys, but I can compete mentally with anybody. How bad do you want it? What are you willing to sacrifice to get it? Are you willing to put the additional time in? Because if you want something that you don't have, you're going to have to do something you're not presently doing. It's just that's no way around it, guys. It's just that simple. What else are you willing to do to get what you say you want? It's easier. But, the law of inertia says a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest, right? You're not in motion yet. Okay, once we get this thing rolling and it starts to get some hair on it, it's like a snowball going downhill. It gets to be a lot of fun. Okay, but you ain't there yet. So that's all I can say to you. You're not there yet. And Tommy's not there yet. Every time you get promoted with American Income, you need to be prepared to work just a little bit harder than you've ever worked in your life, or you're not going to get out of the opportunity what you came here for. You might as well not take the promotion. You gotta find another gear. One more time. Just a little bit more. Okay, you got it. You know you do. I always equate this to working, having the biggest week I've ever had. Remember the biggest week you ever had? You had one more in you. You had one more sale in you, man. You know you did. Okay, I know I did. Okay, just a little bit more so that you win at the highest level. Once you've done that and you change enough people's lives, what you're gonna find is that the deal is working not necessarily because it's working because of your leadership, but you get a chance to step back and enjoy it. Okay, you get to take a look around at your team and see the influence that you've had on them. This is the best part of leadership, by the way. When you stop worrying about your money, okay, like, I get it. Okay, when you stop worrying about your money, money's not a thing anymore. Okay, and you realize, like, you start looking around at the people that are working with you, and you realize, when so-and-so came to work with me, he was driving a beat up pickup truck. Today, he's wearing, designer clothes and driving a new Cadillac or whatever the hell it is that they wanted. I mean, you start looking at people and you can see where you've changed, you've impacted them. Okay. You'll never worry about money again as long as you live. It's when this becomes a blast. I mean, that's when this is really fun. Okay, because you've done enough work, you've made enough deposits at that point that you get nothing but dividends back. Okay, and it will happen for you. Okay, this is not a get rich quick, it's a get rich for sure. It's got to be willing to do some stuff that we're not presently doing. Make sense? Okay, that's really everything I wanted to cover.
Awesome. Hey, we'll take a little break and then we have the 10 o'clock sales conference, so we'll switch up the links. And should we run in here or run in here? We'll run. Should we run in here? Right? Stay in here. All right, we'll switch up the links. We'll run in here and be back on in 5. All right. Thanks, Freddie. Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. I'm at.
Not a single no.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yes, kids are gone right now. For my mom.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Exactly what you've been fucking up.
Hey, you know what?
Just stretch that for somehow. It's not all the adjustments. So they see me go and do